Hey guys, welcome back to Raid Shadow Legends. In today's video, we have just started our brand new account using our download link, which has the Narma, Tagoar, Uugo, and Venomage once we hit level 30, which will probably be around the end of day 1, start of day 2. We use Tagoar as the code, and then we're obviously going to go ahead, because it is collab time, we're going to go ahead and get the Xenomorph as well, and we're going to see how quick we can push to Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare clan boss on this account. But we did do a stream. People have been asking me to do streams on new accounts when I do them, so we did do a stream which is on the channel if you want to go watch day 1, the kind of process I went through. But during the stream, when I was getting my account set up and I selected Gallic, the conversation topic of starter champions arose. Now, when you start your game, you have the option of your 4 starter champions, one being Gallic, one being Kale, one being Aethel, and one being Alhine, however you want to say it. But those are your 4 options. And back in the day, it used to be, without a doubt, and this was sort of when I started playing Raid, I can't even remember, about a year ago or however long it was, maybe a little bit less. But everything I saw was saying, go Kale, make Kale your first 6-star, and go from there. I think the game has evolved a lot from there, with especially the free champions we get. When you look at the codes, when you look at the download links and stuff like that, there are so many good champions. Now, if you look at my account, you'll see I don't really have a farming champion, and I'll address that in a sec. But in general, I don't think there is a set go-to champion to pick as your beginner champion. The beginner champion is no longer about what that champion offers, in my opinion, because yes, you can still make them 6-star. You can go the Kale, make him 6-star, use him as your farmer. But I just don't see the value in that personally for my accounts. And so the way I view it is now these starter champions are nothing else besides an unlock in your faction wars. So if you look at the faction wars, you can see here that my Orc faction crypt is unlocked for 6 days and 14 hours. This is what I view the starter champion as, a utility to unlock a crypt that you think you're going to be able to farm the best. And so depending on what stage you are in the game, whenever you may be watching this, I will continually do updated account playthroughs, update stuff like this with different champions we get through download links and different code champions we have. Now, the prime example was way back when we had Supreme Gallic, which was crazy because then you could run Tagoar through a download link, Supreme Gallic through the code, who was also an Orc, and you could get yourself all the way through basically the entire thing of the Orc faction crypt in your first week, and you'd be farming this thing daily, getting yourself valuable crafting materials. Now, at the moment, it's not as busted, but still, when we look at the, especially the link and the champions that I've got here, we've got Tagoar, who's Barbarians, we've got Knights Revenant, we've got Organ Tribes, we've got Orcs, and then we're going to have Lizardmen when I go ahead and get myself the Venomage. So that kind of leaves us in the point where the only champion of the main ones that I have that is going to have a faction of one of those starter champions is Orcs with Tagoar. Now, the cool thing about Tagoar is he can actually sort of solo pretty decently, but even with a level 40 Gallic backing him up, you can still get decently far, at least through the first boss, and make some nice progression in that first week. And it's going to be the furthest that I'll be able to farm any of the faction crypts in that first week to get the most resources possible. And that's the way I view it. Now, once again, if you want to go Kale and do all that stuff, you definitely can, but we have way better poisoner options now. Now, the other thing is Xenomorph is a Dark Elf. Kale's a Dark Elf. That would have been fantastic. However, you don't get this guy till 7 days, and it's only the first 7 days of your account that you actually have the permanent unlock. So you wouldn't be able to actually abuse that with this guy. But just note, that is something no matter when you are starting the game, I would pay attention to the free champions that you are getting on your account and which ones you can use. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how far would you level your starter champion? For me personally, my limit is 4-star level 40 for these champions. There's a very early mission that says make a 4-star. It's just easy to go ahead and do one of these guys and also get him to 3-star, 4-star ascension. The reason being is doing a little bit of investment into him is going to be nice because it allows you to turbocharge your progression through these this beginner pass. And the faster you can get this second set of lifesteal gear, the better, because you might get some upgraded pieces that are going to help you farming and help you through your early progression. But like I said, 4-star is where I draw the line. I don't go anything past that. So you can see the only other one that I'm left that I can do, and we're only, what are we? We're about 9-10 hours into our account at the time recording this, and the only one left that I can actually achieve is going to be is the level 16 artifacts. I don't think there's any others that I can do because the rest revolve around getting him to rank 5. So rank 4 is the position that I would get them to. Now, why do I go for rank 4? The rank 4 is simply because, especially on an account like this where I don't have a good farmer. Now, if you're using Tholin Foulbeard download link, you do have a very decent farmer in Tholin. But for this, in the early part of the game, you will have a lot of these artifact challenges. Win a 4-star or higher gauntlets. But a lot of these, you have to do them on normal mode. I've completed them all now, but you got to do normal mode in the early stages, and you've just got to farm and farm and farm until you get like a 2-star with attack percent, or, you know, there's all these really annoying challenges. And if you're trying to do that with something like a Tagoar and a Narma, that is going to be slow as hell because you've got no AoE capabilities. However, a level 40 Gallic with really scrap gear can go ahead and farm that quite easily. If we go over here and just show you guys, for instance, I mean, I'm almost through hard now, but you know, a lot of them is in the sewers, and let's say you're trying to get gloves. And so what you end up doing is you just have your Gallic, you put some fodder in there and go ahead and level some fodder with him. Whoops, let's go these ones because they're all the same level. I'm only going to do a 1 run because, you know, we're trying to be conservative. But for these types of missions, this is what I level him to 44 and give him the 3-star ascension. I also put some skill upgrades into him because that gives you an achievement as well for the missions. So you can just do this, and at least it makes your farming of this mundane stuff a little bit easier. You can see it's still not perfect. If I had a little bit more investment into him, he would have one-shot the second wave and it would have been a bit quicker. But it beat doing like a 20 to 25 second run far outweighs doing a 35 to 40 second run to do this stuff when you've got to repeat it over and over. So that is how far I would bring my beginner champion up to. Level 40, that is it. Now, the annoying thing about these champions is if I try and unlock him, so what I would ideally do is level this guy even maybe to 5-star and just level him up so I could use him more efficiently, and then I would feed him. However, the problem is you cannot feed your starter champion until your apprentice pass time is over. So it takes 3 weeks and 3 days before you can actually feed that champion. So I don't want to take it to 5-star and have it as a dead 5-star on my account that I can't really do anything with. If I could feed it whenever I wanted to, well then yes, he would have value in bringing him to 5-star. But at the moment, 4-star is where I leave him to use the value that I get out of him at 4-star. And then I wait for that 3 weeks, 3 days, and then I will use him as a 5-star fodder, feed him 4 stars, and then we can use him as a fodder to rank up whatever champion I am building up at that time. And that is the way I work around my starter champion. Now, once again, because I went for Gallic and I have Tagoar in my download link, now we have 2 champions that we can actually progress through the early stages of Faction Wars with. The other thing is we have the absolutely amazing addition to the game, which is free gear removal. So now I can work on my best set of gear. At the moment, I've probably got my best set over here on Tagoar. You know, we're at like, what, 65% crit rate, 100 crit damage, 37 speed. That's just because I haven't got any speed boots to pair this with. But like, you know, I'll get a decent set of gear that I can farm with, put my 2 best sets of gear on these 2 whenever I go daily into the faction wars, and then push as far as I can into the faction crypts to get the best loot that I can possible so that I can craft even some more perception gear, which is going to help my progression. And that is the way I view the beginner champions. They are a utility to unlock faction wars to help you get some early gear to help you progress your account. That is the entire utility behind them. I don't see them as valuable for a champion to go ahead and build. Once again, if you do it perfectly fine, go nuts. But if you are building one of them because you think you need a farmer, just keep in mind that we do still have the code that works. It's a bit buggy. It normally works after day 3, so you'd have 3 days of pain unless you have the Tholin link or something else strong. But there is still the welcome gift code, which gives you a copy of Bellower. Now, Bellower is an amazing farmer. So if we go over here to Bellower, where is he? This guy, AoE, AoE, AoE. He's got 3 AoEs. He's a great farmer, and he can do it fast. So if you really desperately want a farming unit, you can all go ahead and get Bellower after about day 3. Me personally, I'm not going to do that. This is also why with my 6 stars, I don't want to make a 6-star that is not going to be a champion, which is part of my Demon Lord Clan Boss team, because the first goal of any account should be to progress through the Demon Lord Clan Boss. And by making a 6-star farmer early on, I feel like it kind of takes away from that. So on my account, my Tahanaruk is going to be my first 6-star. I did this on my previous account. It makes it a tough slog. She's about a 2 to 2.5 minute farmer on 12-3 brutal. It's slow, but at the end of the day, if you just keep pressing retry and you're not really like actively watching it and you don't have to stress and you can do it in the background, well, it doesn't matter if it takes a little bit longer because you don't have that much stamina that you're going to be infinitely swimming in it. Now, in this early part of day 1, yes, you are swimming in a ton of stamina. Also, I did buy 900 stamina from the clan shop, so we're swimming in it. But once you get through it once, by like, 3/4 of the way through day 1, then you are not swimming in stamina. And so doing slow runs isn't really the worst thing in the world. So that is the way I go about it. Once again, if you had a Tholin account, Tholin is going to be great at 12-6 brutal. He's not as great at 12-3, so 12-6 will be the one you farm with Tholin. It means you get a little bit less silver, but a little bit more experience. Doesn't really matter. Tahanaruk can do 12-3, and that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do that until I get my Xenomorph. And then I will go ahead and make him my farmer. Even though he won't be incredibly fast, he should knock things out pretty quicker than what my Tahanaruk does in terms of damage, meaning he will be one-shotting enemies, whereas Tahanaruk probably takes 2-3 turns to kill an enemy, and that's going to be the difference on my account. So that is what I am looking at. That is my thoughts around the starter champion. It's just one of those ones that there is a lot of information from when the game was a bit older, where yes, getting Kale was the one because he was great in Clan Boss with the poisons, and he was the one that you build him up as your farmer, then you use him into Clan Boss, and it made perfect sense back in the day. But with the state of Raid, with download links, with how strong they are, how strong the champions you get are, the strength of the code champions, and then also with the free chase champions that we get from time to time, it's not really valuable enough to go ahead and build these starter champions anymore. That is my personal view. Like I said, I leave them at level 40, use them for the utility they bring at 40, and that's about it. Look to your other champions because there is so many strong champions in the game for you to use without even doing any summons that you can get perfectly far into the game. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know any other questions you have as a new account or anything like that, because we are going to be grinding this one out, seeing how quick we can get to Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss using just my download link and the code champion and the chase champion, all free champions. I think we're going to do pretty good in this one. I think the champion synergies that we have are quite nutty, and I'll keep you guys posted. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.